Watching X-Men Evolution because 97 is gone, part 6. If you're new here, that's just my fun way of saying killing time till season 2. Picking up on the second half of season 3, we kicking it off with episode 8, and you know it's an early 2000s show when there's an episode about the big band being in town and everybody needs to go to the concert. So we open up discovering this mansion has a racquetball court inside it, and inside, Rogue is playing the game and herself.
Want a rematch tomorrow night?
Tomorrow? Oh, sorry, that's the concert.
Oh, right. So, are you going with anyone?
Yeah, with Jean. What about you?
I'm not really a fan of the Descanso rivets.
Same thing I said at the Homecoming episode. If you can't get a date, just pretend you don't want to go. But turns out in this show, everyone Rogue has ever absorbed is still in her head, memories and all, and the venue is starting to reach capacity. But who can focus on that when everyone's rubbing Jean in her face?
Hey Jean, now that you've got wheels, how about carpooling to the concert tonight? I'm kind of going with Scott. No problem, he won't mind unless it's some kind of... Whoa! It's a date, isn't it?
Oh, don't worry, Kurt wants in on this action too.
You guys are actually going out!
Who's going out?
Jean and Scott, can you believe it?
No way! Really? It's about time!
So Mystique comes back in disguise and convinces Rogue to go to the concert, and of all places to take the girl sensitive to touch, maybe a mosh pit wasn't the best idea? Because she bumps into a bunch of strangers, and this basically breaks her because the last person she bumps into is Mystique, finding out her best friend and her mom is a liar. And she turns into Sabretooth, wrecks the concert, and then she proceeds to shapeshift into every single person she has touched in the last 3 seasons. Mystique tries to snap her out of it, but let's be real.
I know I've hurt you, but I only posed as your friend so I could be near you. Liar! I know the truth! You used me to spy on the X-Men! No, it's not that simple.
By all means, please explain the part where you blew up the house I lived in, or before when you transferred into the people who lived there and chased me around town. I'd love to hear it. So we get a real adult and Logan steps in.
I know what it's like for nothing to make sense in your head. I've been there. Listen to me, kid. The others inside you. You're letting them push you around. The rogue I knew wouldn't take that off of anybody.
So Logan, being the one to opt for talking her down instead of knocking her down, gives Charles a chance to help her clear her head, and actually stays by her side till she's better, and we actually close out on some wise Wolverine words.
I won't lie to you, kid. Getting over this ain't gonna be easy. Something about betrayal always sticks with you. Trust me, you learn to deal with it. You move on, and you let your real friends be there for you.
Followed by Rogue's last legal guardian telling her first legal guardian, y'all are both in danger because something ancient is on the way. More on that later. But this episode not only doubles down on Logan being a great mentor in the series, but they're clearly trying to create their own version of the friendship he and Rogue had in the movies that were out at the time. And they're honestly doing a good job at it. Episode 9, we open up on Gambit doing his scumbag shenanigans, and if Channing Tatum gets his movie or 97 brings him back, I'm gonna need Gambit staff to have all these same Teen Titan Robin Kim Possible attachments too. So Mesmero is back and has hypnotized Gambit into robbing Angel so he can steal the next key to free El Sabanur, aka Apocalypse. Back at the mansion, the kids are playing mutant baseball, and the only smart one here is Beast, who says, y'all can hurt each other if you want to, I'm out. Angel lets them know what's going on. Meanwhile, Kurt is trying to embrace the fact that he has an actual family member now, whereas Rogue is resisting since she's not a blood relative to him or their mom.
Mystique may have given birth to you, but she only adopted me.
Either way, sis, we're in this together. I mean it, Rogue. Whatever you're going through, I'm here for you, okay? Now, sit tight. I'll have Kitty make you an anchovy jalapeno pizza instead.
Biggest takeaway from the scene is that you'll eat that, but the black beans and enchilada was too much? So cut to the museum. The X-Men and Magneto's people are looking for the second half of the Apocalypse key, and we haven't gotten a lot of Professor X pleading, but man, does this episode make up for it in the next 5 minutes.
Magnus, stop! We don't know anything about it.
I know enough.
Charles, be real. At this point, you only want to save it because he wants to break it. Jokes aside, it turns out Chuck made the right call.
That wasn't just a key. It was a guardian, designed to prevent Apocalypse's release. And with its destruction, the second door will now open.
You could have just told him that at any time when he was battling Charlotte's Web's ghost out here, but all you said was...
Don't do it, Magnus! Do not destroy it!
Next time, Chuck, get to the goddamn point and stop calling that man by his government name. It clearly doesn't work. Episode 10, and excuse the hell out of me, we meet X-23? And come to find out, she was actually created for this series, and with the success of Logan and Deadpool and Wolverine, this show deserves to be in a lot more discussions than it has been. It also gives me hope that somebody will finally do something with Spike. So someone finally comes looking for Wolverine and actually manages to deliver the message using their inside voice instead of blasting at him. But S.H.I.E.L.D. and a Hydra spy basically tell Wolverine, hey, we cloned you back in the day, and now we need you to come get your baby girl, because we don't know where she at.
She was 12. They put her through the Weapon X process.
Enough! She's a child, not a weapon. How do you sleep at night?
I don't.
Spoken like a true mad dad. So it turns out X-23 is back at the X-Mansion looking for Logan and manages to drop everyone until he gets there. And once again, our favorite feral boy uses talk no jutsu to remedy the situation.
I know what happened to you. No one should have to go through that, especially a child. I'm the one person on this planet who understands you. And maybe the closest thing you have to family.
No, I can't have a family. I can't.
After that, he basically tells her to take off and basically tells Nick Fury, take this L, this witch hunt is over, and if it ain't, you and I got a problem. Episode 11 is the first half of a two-parter. We open with Rogue doing diddy deeds and just touching everyone in their sleep, or maybe it was a dream because after the opening credits, they're all just fine. But who's worried about that, because it's the last day of school and nothing says that better than the mutual hate from a teacher you can't stand.
Yep, 1 minute after graduation tomorrow. I can't wait.
Rest assured, the feeling is mutual. I want this year to end on a good note. Some of the students here have earned it, so tomorrow's ceremony will be free of any mutant mischief.
Meanwhile, at the home for high school dropouts, Rogue is now stealing all their abilities, and we get a straight-up Powerpuff Girls reference while this is happening. Then she marches into Magneto's like the damn Terminator and takes his whole team down. We cut to Scott and Jean's graduation, where Storm has done everyone a solid and actually cleared the weather when it was supposed to rain. I'm gonna keep saying it every time. Good on Auntie O in this show, always looking out. And then we get a very coded speech from Principal Kelly.
You may look across from you and see students who have certain advantages over you. Don't be deterred. Any disadvantage can be overcome. You can prevail.
But of course, here comes Team Magneto mid-ceremony.
Magneto, explain yourself. The girl is under Mesmero's control, Charles. She attacked us to absorb our powers, then wiped our minds with his power to cover it up.
You couldn't wait till after the ceremony, Magnus? Rogue flies off and they follow her to the tomb in Egypt where they get trapped inside. Episode 12, or part 2 of this Apocalypse 2-piece. The statues in the tomb come to life and are trying to kill everyone, and while they're busy fighting for their lives, Beast is out here giving this History Channel special to X and Magneto on the backstory of Apocalypse, the almighty space orphan, possibly from the future. And I'm curious how X-Men 97 is going to tackle this material next season, since the time period this show is talking about right now is where that show left off at the end of season 1. So they find out they're not at the right tomb. It's actually in Tibet. The one they're currently at in Egypt is just the garage that houses his ship. Mystique is actually there and is used to open the door and is turned to stone. Good riddance. And then Rogue, the walking mutant cocktail, is used to revive him. His tomb is open and he takes all the power she's stolen. So everyone in Egypt takes his ship, teleports them to Tibet to stop him, and this man just Hulk claps everyone all at once and just leaves in the vehicle they valeted to him. Episode 13, season finale. Apocalypse is free and on the loose. But who cares about that? Let's go on a cruise. So after being told to keep a low profile, Bobby's dumbass think it'd be a funny idea to recreate the Titanic iceberg and all and almost sinks the ship. By the way, as someone who's been on cruises plenty of times, if you act like this...
You call this eggs Benedict? The hollandaise sauce tastes like glue. And just try cutting this piece of leather you call ham. And take a close look at this table. Do you see any pulp-free orange juice on it? Where's my orange juice?
You deserve all the bad service that is available on the boat. Or boom boom blowing up your breakfast, because that's what happens next, which leads to a fire, which leads to Jean putting out the fire, and it creates a mess, and now the whole team's exposed. Some graduation gift they got. And then the waiter homegirl was taken up for immediately gets to gossiping, and this is why I don't get involved with protecting people that don't look like me. Speaking of, so they dock at a nearby island where they help some villagers and are praised for their powers. And Magma gets her moment because she's been seasick all episode, but once they finally get to the island, the nearby volcano conveniently erupts, and she's actually able to stop it after possibly being the one to set it off. Yeah, this episode was kind of random, but this is where season 3 wraps up. This is my personal YouTube channel. I upload videos every single week. I'm actually posting 3 videos today, so on top of this review, I also just did a video for the 20th anniversary of the 4Kids dub of One Piece. I also went to an early screening for Transformers 1 and Agatha All Along, and I just did a skit about Sparking Zero. Please feel free to check all of these out. They're very recent. If you want to talk about Agatha with somebody, podcast channel, we're actually going to be talking about the first couple episodes tomorrow. If you miss it, we are live every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, so feel free to stop by. But that's going to be it for this video. After this, we are moving on to season 4 next week. I know it's the shortest season, but 2 more videos and I am officially wrapped with this series. And to everybody who's been watching and supporting and just joining me for this journey, I truly do appreciate y'all so much. But until then, I hope you all have a great rest of your week. See y'all next X-Men Evolution Wednesday.